Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Novita Sari. I'm student of the Mathematics Education doctoral program at Medan State University. Today, I will bring the material local instructional theory to dimensional figure through realistic mathematics education of junior high school students. Background. The word of education says that mathematics is seen from its nature is an abstract, which is always related to numbers and is considered difficult by some learners. Given that mathematics is considered difficult by learners, the right model or approach is needed to bridge the process of learning mathematics. Building flat is one of the materials that are quite difficult for students at the junior high school level. Speaking of the association of mathematical materials with the surrounding culture, a sportive approach is needed in the manufacturing process. Based on this research, think the need for mathematical learning innovation as the basic of knowledge and supporting flat weak learning. Building flat is very closely related in everyday life and suitable to be connected with the existing culture, and a suitable approach is needed. Research argue that the RMA approach is quite well used for flat weak material. Purpose. Based on the description above, the purpose of this research is to produce a design learning local instructional theory or LEAD, wakes up flat with a realistic mathematics education RMA approach that meets valid and practical criteria. Method. This research used the design research method, a research method that aims to develop local instruction theory through cooperation between researchers and teachers to improve the quality of learning. Grafemeyer and Van Aert 2009. The design of flat material used the RMA approach, and in the learning process is guided by an instrument called institutional learning theory. Method. Which is an estimate of the strategy used by student and the prediction of answer that will appear in the form of student worksheet, LKPD, learning implementation plans, RPP, pretest question, and post-test question. The implementation of this design research is a cyclical process of thought, experiment, and instruction experiment. Grafemeyer, Sambirhoek, and Dog 2010. Stage in design research according to Grafemeyer and Cope Baker 2004 are preliminary design, experiment pilot and teaching experiment, and retrospective analysis. However, this study was only limited to the preliminary design stage cycle 1. This research was conducted at MTS Negeri 2 Deli Serdang by selecting 6 students based on student grades on mathematics lesson during the learning activity process. In this study, several ways are used to collect data, namely observation, interviews, recording video about student learning activities in the class, collecting student work result, and post result and discussion. RPP that we usually find only describe the activities carried out by teachers and learners in outline, so that it doesn't show how theories are formed in the learning process. In the preliminary study, researchers conducted several series of activities, including literature study on learning design, instructive learning theory or LEAD and RMA, and designing instructive learning theory or LEAD design using the RMA approach. In the first stage, research carried out observation and interview activities at MTS Negeri 2 Deli Serdang. Then, based on the result of interviews with students assume that mathematics is a difficult discipline. Students also still experience obstacles in learning the mathematics of lightweight material. At this stage, a literature review is carried out on how to teach material wake up late. The literature studied in the form of journal and guidebook as a reference in teach the topic of late week. The design learning flow is focused on developing understanding and learner communication skill. Result of learning flow development that has been done state that the activities that have been designed can lead learners to understand the concept of building flat from the informal stage to the formal stage. Furthermore, from the second stage, the research design LIT according to the flat wake material. Conclusion. This research is a design research or development research that produces a product in the form of local instructional theory or LIT. Based on the process and research result, it can be concluded that local instruction theory or LIT flat building materials with a realistic mathematical learning approach RMA. Designed by researchers can be used as guidelines for teachers and learners in making design and problem-solving flat building materials, local instructional theory or LIT designed by researchers is associated with cultural context close to the life of learners. Great hope with the design of learning produced later by considering it conducted by learners to solve the problems given. In addition, from LIP product produced relate to the use of the RMA approach is very suitable for plate wake material. The RMA approach has contextual characteristics or based on the reality on the field, but with the LIT produced, teachers can also choose other approach learning that are considered in accordance with the material to be submitted. Thank you, everyone. That's my presentation today. More or less, I'm sorry. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.